What is poppin', y'all? I'm here to talk about some of my favorite changes in this entire hack, and a really cool evolutionary line to me personally, Reuniclus. So before I get into it, actually, you know what? First things first, pause the video, read this little bit on the top of the screen. I'm not gonna have it on the screen for the whole video, just to save space, but read this. That'll give you like the basics of the type change and the physical attacking stuff. But I'll explain that verbally in just a second. Um, so yeah, Reuniclus Psychic Poison, super dope. I'll explain that in a sec. I'll also talk about all of the awesome abilities and the reasons I chose them, and most importantly, all the crazy new moves and the move changes and stuff. But before I get into explaining all this stuff, I want to have a quick disclaimer for new people. Is this music too loud? Ah, it might be fine. All right. Just make sure you read the description if you're new here. It's got a lot of bullet point information that'll give you context about the ROM hack and explain a lot of things you might be wondering about. So definitely make sure you read that. Super important. And then when you're done with this video, you can check out all my other ones. I have videos for every other Pokemon and also explaining tons of other stuff about the ROM hack. And most importantly, I recommend you check out the Google Sheet link down below. Most specifically, the move guide on the Google Sheet right here on screen. If you scroll through it in order, it'll go through all of the moves in depth, in categories. It's very easy to understand, so make sure you do that. Reuniclus, though, this guy's dope. Poison typing. So the Pokedex explicitly says that the liquid that Reuniclus is made of is toxic. So there you go. That's enough of a reason. Not to mention the general vibes or aesthetics of the line, right? Like they kind of got like that scientific, like cellular, almost like germy vibe to them, right? So that's cool as well. And even I would say they are. I would argue they fit poison even without this Pokedex, but the Pokedex like really hits it home like that it is toxic and it's like a gross little germ creature almost. Um, as for it being a physical attacker, the Pokedex explicitly says that it prefers actually to use its physical strength. It says while it could use its psychic abilities, it prefers to swing its powerful arms around to beat opponents into submission. And it also says that they fight by controlling arms that can grip with rock crushing power. They can crush boulders physically, etc. Oh, psychically. No way that's what it fucking says. I read it as physically. That's psychically is crazy. Yeah. No. Yeah, psychically. I read it as physically. That's funny as hell. Anyway, man. Point being, physical attacker, or at least mixed attacker Reuniclus, super dope. And then this thing is insanely bulky with energy shield and regenerator, and the buffed black sludge, especially because they also get exclusive access to protect. So that's really fun. Because protect, I mean, they get protect in vanilla by level up, so I decided to keep it. They kind of have the vibes for it. If you're curious as to what I meant by limited access to protect, pause the video, read this if you haven't already. If you don't know about why that is, that'll answer your questions. But yeah, Reuniclus super dope, super tanky, right? Energy shield regenerator with this poison typing. It gives it tons of new resistances. It 4 times resists fighting. It resists grass now. It resists fucking poison itself. All types of great new things it has as a psychic poison. And it even gets an extra resist if you run Liquid Veil. Obviously, the benefit of Liquid Veil is offensive, water bubble, right? It's offensive. However, you do have some small benefit in that you can't be burnt and that you also get a fire resist. I would say the fire resist is pretty sick because you can like not only resist fire, but then hit them with a, double damage water move, which is insanely powerful coming off of its 115, 125 offenses. I even put super high base power water moves early on, relatively speaking, like at level 50, because I really want to encourage, because obviously energy shield and regenerator are so fucking good, right? I mean, especially on a poison type that heals double leftovers with black sludge every turn, and you have protect. I mean, this thing is fucking immortal, right? Regenerator, black sludge, protect, energy shield, whatever. You live forever. You also have like strength sap, which makes a lot of sense for their whole design, and tons of other incredible stally type moves like caustic acid, which will always burn, teleport for pivoting, and other really good stuff. Oh, this Psycho Boost is uncolored. Hopefully nobody comments about that. Oh, it's not uncolored, it's just colored in the wrong color. Okay. Yeah, so I love through these three abilities. It's also, I mean, you can interpret energy shield as like the literal shield of like bubble cellular fluid. What's that shit called? The cytoplasm that's like surrounding its body. You can interpret that as energy shield, and it also has a bit of a dichotomy with Gothitelle. Check out that video, by the way, the Fairy Dark Psychic Surge Gothitelle. It's also got energy shield, and I think a really cool thing with both of these guys being like version exclusives is they're both sort of like triple type in a way. Gothitelle's Fairy Dark with Psychic ability, and then Reuniclus' Psychic Poison with Water ability. I think that's cool. And they also both get access to an exclusive Life Dew / Lunar Blessing 1 PP priority heal move that also synergizes very well with Energy Shield specifically, because you can replenish that. Although Reuniclus doesn't really, I mean, it's a cool tool. You have move relearner, so you can always cook or experiment with all the cool new shit that I give these guys. But you're already healing so goddamn much with that black sludge, with protect, and with regenerator, so you really don't need it. But it's still cool. You've also got good old reliable recover. Obviously, you have strength stat later in the game, which is even better because it lowers the physical attack, and your physical defense is your only stat that's like not that high. But with the massive HP and the black sludge, it doesn't fucking matter, right? You can even take half damage from a physical move, and if you're protecting and getting black sludge, you're back to 75%. So getting to a KO by the AI would be very difficult. It's very, very fun to abuse. You also have other healing moves like Mega Drain and Siphon and Giga Drain and Drain Punch, so even more ways to heal outside of the obvious black sludge, recover, strength sap, regenerator type shit. It's even got like acid armor for the end game, which gives it +3 defense. I personally wouldn't touch that because it is just kind of crit fodder in my opinion. I think you have so many better ways to use this thing, but it's still there if you need it or if you really want to use it. As for physical moves, I mean, as you can see on screen, it has tons of moves in general, and I really want to emphasize how fucking strong Liquid Veil is on this thing. For example, Rock Grenade in Vanilla, which was Water Bubble, gets stabbed, so it's obviously stronger. But when you have such high base attacking stats, it's basically as strong as if Reuniclus was adaptability and water type at the same time. That's how I would interpret the damage of Liquid Veil. And it's not a water type, right? So it's very, 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 very strong. You've got like Bubble Burst, which is a 90 power that becomes 180 power with Liquid Veil. Early game, you've got your Chilling Water, your Bubble Beam, your Water Pulse as the game, 55, 60, 75 power respectively. Liquidation is 85 times 2. Hydro, I would never touch Hydro Pump because it can miss. But you have Hydro Cannon and Hydro Assault, for example, which are both Psycho Boost variants. So essentially, those will drop your attack or special attack by -2, and very, very, very fun, strong, damaging moves. Also, other stally. I mean, this thing can do so much fun shit. You can, Quick Claw, blow things up with Liquid Veil. You can run it purely defensively with just Protect, stally bullshit with Black Sludge and Toxic and all this other crap. You've also got tons of other great coverage moves. Ground moves like Mud Shower, Mud Bomber, Seismic Fist. You got electric coverage. You've got fighting coverage. You've got obviously the giant water nukes. You've got some other elemental punches and Hammer Arm at level 45 is very cool as well. I like to give him like kind of the Hammer Arm brutal swing, like the arm flailing type moves early on, relatively speaking at least, just to kind of emphasize the whole Pokedex stuff with the crushing the boulders. Hence also the move Boulder Bash, which I think is a really fucking funny, like fitting move. It comes from Rock Smash. It's basically just slightly weaker Rock Slide, but it always drops defense in exchange. So, if you're going to Boulder Bash into like a Think Fast or something, that can be pretty good. I mean, it's a relatively niche coverage option, but it's still cool. Yeah, I already covered the Caustic Acid, Burning, Life Dew, Strength Sap. Man, this thing is so fun. It's got so much cool shit. You can use it in so many different ways. That's the beauty of this ROM hack, right? You can customize the way your Pokemon play at any given moment. You can run it purely physically, purely specially. For one boss fight, you can run it purely defensively. You can switch your abilities, EV spread, items, all sorts of fun ways. Even like early game, like Power Split on Solosis and Devotion is cool. Also, another thing I guess I could address is the stats. So I thought it would be a cute little gimmick to have the whole line have the same defensive stats and just their HP changes because, their whole thing is like multiplying, right? Like Cell Division and shit. So I think them keeping the same 75-100 defenses, but then Solosis having like, garbage HP, and the Devotion having like solid HP, and then the Reuniclus having a massive HP, I think is really cool. And also, yeah, they get, I believe, 45 each time they evolve. Yeah, plus 45, I believe, is my math correct? 25 plus 45, or... I don't know why I'm checking this, but... Oh my god. Not times, bro. Sorry, I just got a text too, and I'm trying to... Okay, yeah, 70, so yeah, plus 45 each time, so that's dope. But yeah, you got tons of awesome water-type nukes, tons of awesome coverage, sick mixed attacker, incredible defensive utility. I mean, really, it's such a fucking good, strong, cool Pokemon. I also opted to give them some physical moves earlier than special ones. You've got your Hammer Arm, you've got your Psycho Warp, which is Psychic type close combat, you've got your Psycho Boost later. Psycho Boost especially synergizes very well with Regenerator, even Hydro Cannon and Hydro Assault if you're not running Liquid Veil, because you're not always going to need Liquid Veil, right? If it's super effective, it might kill anyways, depending on how bulky the opponent is. So that's all really good. But yeah, Psycho Boost is sick with Regenerator because, you know, you drop your stats, then you switch out. You could even do like Regenerator, Eject Pack, Psycho Boost shit. I mean, there's so many good ways to use this thing. But even just if you run Black Sludge every fucking fight, it's still insane. Especially because of Protect. So like, removing Protect was also like a slight nerf to Black Sludge because it's such a strong, I mean, I love Poison type, but you know, it was definitely like pretty crazy. But there's a good amount of Poison types that make sense to learn, like Spiky Shield or Painful Bunker or whatever. And in this case, they've got that Protect. So super awesome. And just a stall machine and an offensive powerhouse and everything in between. So yeah, thanks for listening, y'all. Let me know if you made it to the end of this one. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. And I'll be back for more coming up. Peace out. Drop a comment, seriously. Let me know who you are. Peace.